couple of new props on Darcy Ray and Levi Natabe. Ear to ear, shoulder to shoulder. Meli Dorinalangi, the try scorer, is Fiji's new captain because Tex Sakanaveri has been replaced by Mesalami Dolakoto. Meantime, Scotland spraying the ball around, and Jordan again with the kick, asking a few questions that was answered comfortably by Ponepati Ronganimasi. Sila Frank Lamani, the scrum half. Taken back in, so it couldn't go directly into touch. Jordan high. Hastings. And Jones. Which way will the kick bounce? Pleasingly from a Scottish and Hugh Jones point of view. Fagerson. Dempsey just lays it back, and then the work of Richardson moves Scotland to within that close of the try line. Down he goes! And in the end it was Graham who took it on. And Graham has 4. And the significance of the 4th is that he moves alongside now Duan van der Merwe at the top of the try-scoring tree. 28 each. It's become a right old contest.
Yeah, and he'll definitely know that. I'm sure Duan van der Merwe won't be far away from telling him that. But the tempo's gone up in Scotland game. The level of excitement, energy on and off the ball. Looks like the subs have made a big difference. Tom Jordan's made a big difference. Jamie Dobby sped things up at the base of that ruck. But as always, Darcy Graham making something happen when nothing's particularly on there. Talking to Jamie Dobby, picking off lazy defenders around that ruck. Rory talked about it. Fiji are dropping off some tackles. There's going to be space. There's going to be soft shoulders on the inside, and Darcy Graham sees that and gets his 4th for the day.
Well, he scored 4 against Romania in the World Cup. He's got 4 against Fiji here.
It's been brilliant to see him back in a Scotland jersey. That one there, make no bones about it, he calls that to Jamie Dobby. Jamie Dobby goes infield to the 15-metre line, and Darcy Graham getting back in the game. He had chased through that Hugh Jones kick, managed to get in and amongst it, and then from there he calls it in, understanding that Dolakoto just off the bench, but trying to find a second wind as a replacement hooker, just a little bit tired on the fringes. Darcy Graham, knee-high to a grasshopper, dives over to score. I tell you what, it would have been tough to call 4 today for Darcy Graham.
And the second Fijian debut, this time for Wanganalanga, 21-year-old centre. Only a handful of games for Fijian Drua. He gets his opportunity before the bigger names return next week.
Replaced by number 23, Wanganalanga, when he was first cap for Fiji.
Change at scrum half as well. Simi Kuravoli on for Frank Lamani.
Okay, use it 9.
Tamburvu takes his leave. A little over 15 minutes to go.
Just the Scottish physicality come into play. Now you just see Matt Fagerson's got through a lot of unseen work this afternoon. Darge as well in that back row on the ground and in the tackle, just buying that extra second or two to allow the defensive line to find their shape. Steve Tandy will be pleased with the reaction to Scotland going through a really poor spell. They've been much better in the last 10 or so minutes.
Picked up by Valentini.
Release.
Look at Tom Jordan again, just the fight in that tackle.
Pause there, Matt. Release. Yeah, release, sir.
This is Nasila Sila, the new man Nalanga, only 21. We are certainly getting a glimpse through the window of Fiji's future here this evening at Murrayfield. Tave chugs it up.
Only 1 foot behind.
Now for Fiji to ask a few questions of their own. Scotland have really worked their way back into this, and the applause for Darcy Ray.
Rolling east to west. Can't ask any more of him.
Yeah, Craig Evans being clear there. I think it was Kuravali almost trying to milk that penalty, jumping over Matt Fagerson it was.
And the 4-try man is heading off. We're hearing it's a head injury assessment, so he may well be back, which might be bad news for George Lindsay, who in 1887 scored 5 tries for Scotland against Wales in Edinburgh. Right now, George is still safe on his own at the top of that list, but should Darcy Graham come back, then George might start to sweat a little more. I did not have that fact up my sleeve, by the way. That's thanks to
dig
John
very deep into the encyclopedic brain of yours.
Yeah, no. That's down to John in Stat Alley, who feeds us this stuff.
Just for clarity, that's not me.
No.
Definitely not you, John.
You're happy to reside there every now and again. Maybe Scotland again through Tuipulotu. Just that simple work, Tuipulotu. It looks simple, but the work of just gluing the midfield together this evening. This is Valentini for Fiji in the meantime.
You're going on to your floor first. Target the ball, please, not the floor.
Dylan Richardson showing some of the skills honed early in his rugby career in the back row, but just hands going beyond the ground, but beyond the ball, and weight going through his hands on the ground there before being able to latch onto that ball. Craig Evans picking it up really sharp over that breakdown. Fiji will be desperate to finish strong here. Last 15 minutes, this game is gone, but they've shown little spells. They've got a lot of artillery coming in from around Europe for their match next week, but they'll be desperate to finish on a high.
Line out one by Vothe. Backed up by Merwe, who has been a willing worker, willing runner all evening. Likewise, I say Silla.
Release, Blue. Okay, tackle.
Balls.
I got a knock on only.
Lost forward.
I got a knock on the ground. I got a blue scrum.
To the frustration of Simi Kuravoli, who was ready to launch Fiji again.
Knock on the ground. Number 6. Come. 6 wide.
Here comes Valive Mirror.
Okay, fine, yeah. Fine.
First time we've seen him since they lost out narrowly to England in that World Cup quarter-final in Marseille, and he comes on for one of Fiji's try scorers, Ratumeli Langi. He became increasingly influential as the match wore on. And a change for Scotland as well, as we say goodbye to Jack Dempsey, and the applause around this stadium for Gregor Brown, 23-year-old Glasgow Warrior at the beginning of his Test career. 3 starts on that summer tour to the Americas, but now this a very special moment because it's the first time at Murrayfield.
Yeah, he absolutely. One day you won't forget. First cap special, the first time you get to play at your home stadium, possibly even more so. And he's been in great form for Glasgow. Speaking about the Max Williamsons of the world, there's a whole load of players coming through that Glasgow ranks, and he's been a big part of that young, physical, exciting back row forward.
He really came through and shone brightly on that tour of the Americas in the summer. This is a huge moment. It's also nice to be able to come on without necessarily having high pressure of the result. He'll be able to get on there. He's a big physical carrier. Defensively, loves the physicality. And then bumping into Blair Kinghorn's mum on the way to the commentary box earlier, and she was telling me that that's her nephew, Gregor Brown, so Blair Kinghorn's cousin. And maybe they have a run around next week against the South Africans. We will wait and see.
Crunch. Bind.
The lights shining down from the stands around Murrayfield, illuminating Final 11 minutes of this contest. He skips around and then looks for some space and finds it via Hastings. Johan van der Merwe. Hastings to Pelotti. And Jordan, who has really impressed since arriving. Hugh Jones. And that was lost forward.
Another nice touch by Tom Jordan there. Hugh Jones desperate to get away from the tackler coming over and to get his hands free. Just nice footwork there. Tom Jordan dragging 3 defenders, and Jones went to get away there on Logani Massey. The long arms of the left winger managed to reel him back in. Hugh Jones couldn't get his hands free to get the offload back on the inside.
Tom Jordan, who has only just qualified on that 5-year residency rule, moving as he did to Scotland in October 2019. But the statement he has been putting down since then, most latterly as a URC winner with Glasgow. And it is that physicality, it's his strength as a fly half, perhaps long term, to drive through defenders, to occupy defenders, that Gregor Townsend really likes.
Yeah, and he's comfortable playing at 12. He's perfectly happy to change in at 10 and 12.
Front row, please.
And we're seeing that role of 10 and 12
Fiji.
completely changing, but the lines are blurring. But who's the distributor, who's the carrier at times, and he's...
Yeah, look, guys, if I have to give a yellow card, I will. There'll be multiple penalties now on each side of the scrum. I'm trying to give a message to change the picture. On the pressures, come on, you just clearly gone into that tunnel. Please work hard in the remainder of this game to keep the scrums up.
I think Tom Jordan, most impressively, slotting in at fullback. Obviously, Kyle Rowe replaced just before half-time, and to go in at fullback, I expect he would have probably trained at 10 and 12, maybe at fullback on occasion. But he's gone back there, and I think it's probably worked in his favour, because he's just that one pass or 2 passes further out in the line. He's a clever footballer. He can get his eyes up and see where the threats are, rather than being in that flying half position. But he has ridden that incredibly well. It really couldn't have gone an awful lot better for him.
Fiji, by the way, with their 3rd captain of the match, Shikana Veri and latterly Darina Langi have left us. So Caleb Muntz, their fly half, is now skipper. Into the final 10 minutes. Robbie eager for the ball. Tua Pelotti again. Oh, and then Hastings, wonderful. Jones on the search for more, and on the search for the record again. Johan van der Merwe. Edinburgh fireworks towards the end of this contest. And the record breaker before the match is the record breaker again. But that was wonderful.
Well, he's scratching his head, and I think most of the people are saying now he's amazed. And the reason he's amazed is the quality of this pass from Adam Hastings. Scotland find that shape. That is the filthiest backdoor pass you will ever see from Adam Hastings. No right to throw that pass. Have a look at this. What an unbelievable piece of skill. The vision, the confidence to do it. Johan van der Merwe saunters over for yet another try in a Scotland jersey.
His old man is sitting 4 rows in front, and he's just had to pick his jaw up off the ground. What a magnificent piece of skill. A Fijian skill against the Fijians, and how good to see that man back in a Scotland jersey. Went on the summer tour, he had a wretched time with injuries, but there you go. Just his wherewithal to know where Hugh Jones is, that's one bit, but putting it on the money to stick him on the outside line into the space. There he is there. Diane and Gavin delighted to see their son in action there. He's had a good afternoon as well.
Stafford McDowell.
Balls lifted, play on.
This is Darcy Ray. Second test cap, not far off 6 years since his first. And here once more, Scotland eager for more. Van der Merwe. Jordan waited away to the left. He fancied opening things up to the right. And he was held on to it.
Sorry. Holding on.
You need to have your head on a swivel, even in the 74th minute against the Fijians, didn't you? Thanakai Vata came from nowhere there. It's like he was a heat-seeking missile heading towards Duhan van der Merwe.
Yeah, he's growing into this game, Duhan van der Merwe. I think Scottish fans want to see him with hands on the ball as much as possible.
Jordan. Scotland want more than the 50.
Good ball.
McDowell gets it away. Oh, we're seeing some circus stuff now.
Look.
Jordan. Okay, look at the strength. Daj.
Lovely footwork pre-contact there by Gregor Brown. It's on here.
Ferguson.
Oh, great pass.
He gets it away, and Jones, who's enjoying himself as well. Jones almost there himself, the stretch.
Time off.
Has he done that cleanly? Has he done it legally? Do Scotland have an 8th?
I agree. Gonna check tackle complete. Okay, Brett, coming to you.
Gotcha, Craig.
On-field decision. No try. Trying to check tackle complete, please.
Okay,
Do
so
you
we've got
remember
an
what he decided
on-field no
there?
try. We're checking for a tackle complete and extra movement.
Yeah, see if he did get there or not.
So the key bit here, after the tackle is complete,
This one's going to come in real time for you, Craig.
Yeah, no problem.
Can reach though.
I'm just going to play this from a little bit earlier. They've just cut to the grounding. I'm just going to play this now.
Okay.
Well, he's still sliding
So at this
naturally.
point here, he's complete.
That second action is self-generated.
And then the second action, he's propelled himself from his knees.
Yeah. I agree. So that second action, his momentum is self-generated. So it's going to be a penalty for double movement. There's no try, okay? Yeah, penalty to Fiji for double movement. Thank you.
If he'd been tackled, just to explain that,
Okay,
if he'd
no
been
try.
tackled and then immediately
Double
stretched
movement,
out without
penalty
needing to
Fiji.
use the knees, he'd have been fine, but he didn't.
On the 5.
Yes, it was fine margins. It's the right decision. He got one chance to go for the try line. Momentum had stopped, and then he uses
Double
his lower
movement,
body
lads.
to
10
propel
meters.
himself in reach of that try line.
Thank you.
Would have been another brilliant score
It's a penalty
here.
okay?
Scotland really opened up
charge.
in the final last 10 minutes or so, playing some real baller stuff. We saw a lovely touch by Stafford McDowell, great footwork by Gregor Brown, and just offloads aplenty.
Thank you.
Well, the famous grouse player of the match is John Barclay's gift to hand out. Who are you going for, John?
Well, that man in picture. Scotland fans have been desperate to see him back in a Scotland jersey. Darcy Graham, almost impossible not to give. You score 4 tries and you don't get man of the match. He's been superb. They're looking for the ball. He's been busy. He brings X factor. Great to see him back in a Scotland jersey. Great to see him back in a Scotland jersey scoring tries.
Roll away, please. Yeah, good.
To the final 5 minutes. It's not quite Scotland's biggest ever win against Fiji. They beat them 54-17 a few years ago, but it's not far off.
5 man.
He's just one of these guys that no matter where you're tuning in from around the world, he's a joy to watch. Unless it's the Fijian Islands, of course, but they have their own incredible athletes themselves. That's Scotland's equivalent. He is not a big man, but he packs a punch. His pace, his footwork, his bravery has been on show once again this afternoon, and I know that 67,500 Scotland fans and 5 million spread around the world will be delighted to see that man Darcy Graham back in that number 14 jersey for the national rugby team.
Right, the look of Camueli Valentini, some smart footwork to take Fiji up towards halfway. Muntz.
Release blue.
Half Sini Kuravoli, try scorer in that famous old win at Twickenham last year, but this has been a distinctly different story for Fiji this evening. Never really able to recover from the slow start that saw them 26-0 down very early on in the first half. A couple of yellow cards, a couple of tries towards the end of that first half, pulling them back into it, and then a Canaveri's cute third try, but from that point on, Darcy Graham, Duan van der Merwe, Scotland restoring a little bit of order from their point of view.
Yeah, they have. The middle third would be the most disappointing from a Scotland point of view. The discipline would be a source of frustration for the coaching team, as it was throughout the Six Nations, but you look at Fiji and they just lacked a little bit of cohesion this afternoon. Yeah, they carried the ball well, they've got X factor, but just that real cohesive nature and the style of their play, a little bit in ones and twos, and Scotland's defence on the whole hasn't been overly troubled by it.
Right now, fired into the hands of big Max Williamson. Richardson has it. Ferguson adding his weight. We're seeing a little bit more of Gilchrist than we probably needed early on a Saturday evening, but on we go. Oh, and then the crossfield kick and a scampering Hugh Jones, and Scotland have 8. And Scotland are heading towards their biggest ever win against Fiji. It's a record-breaking night at Murrayfield.
Just pressure, 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 and the identification of space. The maul driving forward, Scotland told to use it having gone down at the front of the maul. And then from there, ball across, straight out the back to Adam Hastings. On a sixpence once again, Hugh Jones holding the width, providing the space. Look at that, head down, eyes on the ball the whole time. For any youngsters watching, that's how you put a crossfield kick in on the money. It's equivalent to a tap-in for Hugh Jones.
It was. It's that same shape again. You talk about the different pieces of that jigsaw there. The maul functioned very well, got Fiji going backwards. The Fijian Lions then really got to narrow up to mark that Tui Pilotu threat we've seen in the midfield. The result of that, there's got to be space somewhere. So Adam Hastings sits in the pocket this time, play a little bit deeper behind the gain line, and then just that ability to pick apart that narrow Fiji defence. But all the work for that try has been done inside the ball, in the planning, in the understanding of how to manipulate a defence.
Yeah, word for Adam Hastings off the tee as well. 17 points for him tonight. It's not just what he's done with his hands and his accuracy with those try-scoring cross-field kicks. McDowell.
He's probably a little bit unfortunate that you can't not give a 4-try winger the player of the match. He's been really good, Adam Hastings, coming back into the side for Scotland this evening.
And now Jordan. That's gone loose. Dobie. Well, I think the 57,000 inside this place have had their money's worth tonight, but hanging around to see if there's one more bonus score. Hastings. McDowell. Returned from the summer tour with his first test try against Canada. Merwe. To Pilotu. Starting to play the full 80 in his first home captaincy. Charging Rory Sutherland.
Lee got the ball to the other side, play it.
Going back by Williamson. Scotland still with hope in their heart, energy in the legs, particularly if you Hugh Jones and Dern van der Merwe and Dobie and back to van der Merwe. This would be something else to send the folks home. 5-star, 9-try entertainment for Scotland tonight. And it is going to be an encouraging start to this Autumn Nation Series. And their record-breaking try scorer stretching clear again at the top of the tree. Oh, maybe not.
And we're going to be denied that finish. Cue the boos.
Touch.
Ready when you are.
And here's the camera angle. And we'll go nice and slow. And there's the foot on touch.
Okay. We got a decision. Back on me.
It's the chase of Huati Karo-Lelevu, who made sure that Jones was just off the table, and that is the end of the game. But what a game. In the middle of it, Fiji reminded us exactly of what they're about. This young, developing Fiji team, the bigger, shinier names maybe, will be back next weekend for their trip to Wales. But for Scotland and for Gregor Townsend, the satisfaction of a big winning start, a record-breaking winning start to this autumn series. They have seen off Fiji 57 points to 70.